welcome to 2026. I got a project parked out in the parking lot that we're gonna get started on. Just got done painting this fuel tank, color matching a couple of J. Farrell air ride kits. This one here is going on a 589. This one here, I'm not painting the kit. These kits all come powder coated gloss black. Springs are not, so I paint the springs gloss black. So I'm not gonna open up that kit. It'll get shipped out the way it is, but all three of these are ready to go, other than the fact that I have to finish putting this Kenworth kit together. Here it is. This one's going on a 26 model Kenworth. I'm not sure if the customer has it yet or not. He just pre-ordered this, so I gotta get it put back together, put all this stuff back together, put it back in the box. After I get everything packed up, I have a little box truck that I need to pull in to put that new fuel tank on. And then I think we're ready to pull in my first big project build of the year. So let's get right into it. So a customer rudely called me, wanting to spend money, and ruined my video of a time lapse of me putting a J. Farrell air ride kit together. So I got upset and I just didn't finish the video. So now this is the next day, and now we're gonna talk about the big project that's coming up. And I was gonna video some work on that truck. Didn't happen. I was going to go over this truck here. This is the next big build, 589 Cat. But first, we gotta do a visor on a Kenworth. So let's pull a Kenworth in here, get the visor slammed on there, and then we're gonna talk about this 589 with a cat in it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen it on TikTok, Facebook, whatever, because I saw it a couple times. Well, that is this truck, and there's a lot to go over. But first, let's do an RLK visor install on a W900. Gotta get her unhooked, get it in the shop. Well, there we go. That's what it looks like before we put a visor on. This is without a visor. There is no visor on currently. It did have one on. They were talking about cutting it and the brackets and turning it down. Some people like that. Me personally, not that big of a fan. Not a paid sponsor. Had to pay for this. What the heck? Stay one of the best visors out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this, make sure we have everything we need to get the job done. Should have everything. Never know though. Let me check it all out and let's get to mounting this visor. So as a part of the step-by-step process, we need to remove a couple of these hooks on both sides. And now that a couple of the hooks have been removed on both sides and there's been a few nut inserts installed, we'll go ahead and start putting the visor together. First, you want to take the protective sheathing off of the middle section here on both ends and bolt it together. Leave the protective sheeting on the face so you don't get never sees fingerprints all over your stainless. All right. And then once you get it mounted up on the truck, you can go ahead and peel the rest of the protective sheeting off. And if you were following along step by step at home, at this point you should have a mounted visor with minimal fingerprints. I'm happy with how this turned out. This is the straight 10. When we get out, I'll show you how it looks outside in the sunset. I think it turned out really nice. So this is the Cat swapped 589 that has been floating around on Facebook, TikTok, wherever. I've seen it a couple times, and then a customer that I've built quite a few trucks for already ended up purchasing it and asked if I would be willing to work on it. There's quite a few issues with it, and I said yes. I thought it'd be something cool. And after it got here, because I don't want to be that guy, I really have debated on even showing it, but I'm going to. I think the garage probably did the best they could. I'm not going to mention who built this. If you know who it is, you know who it is, but I don't know what happened, but there's just a lot not right with this truck. And I'm not going to dog on them. We're just going to go through and fix a lot of things. And I'm not saying that I'm the best at anything. As soon as I do that, like say I'm the best at mounting a visor even, as soon as I say that, one of the many that I've installed is going to fly off the guy's truck and go through somebody's windshield. So I'm not saying that, okay? I just say there's a lot of blatantly wrong things on this truck that I'm going to spend probably the first week just trying to fix and patch things to make what we don't want to change out, like even the stacks. We don't want to put new ones on because these weren't put on new, but they're pretty much coming off and getting completely remounted. Like there's just so many little things that are just blatantly wrong that I'm going to go through and fix before we start going to the actual customization of this truck and making it look cool. Now, with that being said, the engine install is actually pretty clean. I'll open this hood and show you guys. Here's the engine. There's a whole laundry list of gauges, I guess, that don't work, and I'm not gonna touch any of that stuff. I'm honestly not doing anything to the engine other than they asked me to look over it, make sure everything's tight and right, because there seems to be a lot of loose stuff. But, oh, here we go. I just noticed that. Instead of getting a new, block for your cab to sit on, they just taped that on there, and that's probably why it's coming down and scraping that up and everything else. But those are getting replaced anyways because on both sides they're broken. Anyways, the only major thing I'm doing to the engine is I am going to be dropping the oil pan and shaving the plug off right there, because this truck will be getting a J. Farrell air ride kit, and we don't want the axle coming up and smashing the bottom of that oil pan. So we're going to take the oil pan off and do that. While that's off, I'll look up in the engine, see what it looks like from the bottom side. Honestly, I don't want to touch the engine at all. And it does sound good, so we're just going to leave it where it's at, but everything cosmetically, and there are some mechanical things that I will be fixing, but for the most part, it's all going to be exterior things that I'll be fixing. There you go. That's what it needs on the other side, but apparently it's missing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hood off first. We're going to be replacing the surround. It's also sitting very crooked, so I'm going to see if I can straighten it out a little bit. It's not even like with the hood closed on the one side, it's sticking out past the bumper, and on the other side, it's back behind it basically. It's just a lot of crookedness going on. A lot of little things that I'm just going to try and we'll bend and remanufacture and make things work. But Just a lot of stuff like this. A lot of stuff like that. Anyhow, let me get started on something. I think the hood, and we'll go from there. All right, we kind of got parts scattered about everywhere, all on pallets. I don't know why the pallets part was important. Whatever. Anyways, we have quite a bit tore apart on this truck. Right now, I have it up in the air because I want to take the oil pan off now and get that plug right there. We're going to go ahead and cut this off and weld the hole shut so that way we can put an air ride kit on this and not smash our oil pan. So, oil is draining. So, we got the oil pan mounted back up, everything torqued back down, ready to fill up with oil. But before I put the truck on the ground and do that, I'm going to go ahead and mount this battery box on the passenger side. Now, I do have leftover brackets from, you know, obviously when I took this off of another truck. And then I have some of my 389 brackets to put a 389 box on these 579s. I'm trying to kind of put it all together that it works because this is a Cat swap. The engine mount is totally different in here, and it's covering the holes that I actually need. So, and the other side's even nothing's mounted square, so everything's different from side to side. So, but I got to make sure these boxes are at the right position for when we go and put a filler panel in here. So I'm making up some custom brackets right now to make this sit where it should have from the factory with different holes in the frame. So let's get these brackets made up and get this box mounted. And now it's time to move on to the next project on this truck. And this segment of the video has been a prime example of when a customer says, hey, will it be a problem mounting a battery box up on this side? And I go, yeah, that should be no problem at all, because you can get them from factory with that style if you have the weed burner, right? So I have the factory brackets to hang a box. That should have been, you know, with drilling, maybe I had to drill some holes in the frame, maybe not. 45 minutes, you know, mount the box, be done. But because it's custom, there was things in the way. I had to redo brackets, had to flip brackets, had to build brackets, a lot of measuring to make sure it's all square and correct. Just takes more time. But anyways, that's done. Time to move on to the next part of the build.